Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Bum.
Bum. Yes, greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Seasons greetings, I should say. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Yeah, and welcome to another episode in our 4th of July special for Christmas in July. The gift that keeps on giving all summer long. And here in Christmas in July, we are reviewing at least one Christmas special a night. But for the past 2 nights, Blue Dragon 5 have been doing 2 a night. Well, actually, technically 3, because we covered both Christmas with the Joker and Holiday Nights from the Batman animated series on our last episode. But, oh god, isn't this a fun process, Blue Dragon 5, just going through all these Christmas specials at a very inappropriate time of the year, just digging into it?
Yep.
Okay, so like we said, it's the 4th of July, Independence Day, America and whatnot, so,
we're talking about heroes.
Yeah, so we're talking about superheroes, because gosh darn it.
Because unfortunately, Captain America didn't have a Christmas special.
No, unfortunately not.
Well, luckily, DC had a few.
Where Captain America is missing his family and friends while on a propaganda tour. I really want that. Like, he's not even a superhero yet. He's just doing the propaganda thing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But luckily, DC had a few to spare, so that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, indeed. So, so like I said, we covered the Christmas specials from the Batman animated series in the last episode, and now, what are we talking about now, Blue Dragon 5?
Well, we're talking about a Justice League episode that was essentially Justice League broken up into 2 shows, pretty much. You got Justice League Unlimited, and you got Justice League the original. We're talking about something from the original here that was before pretty much the series finale for that for that show. Well, 2 episodes before the finale, which is just the continual building train. But we have a calm before the storm. Every episode of Justice League's 2 episodes long because it's an hour show that's relegated to 2-parters. Except for this episode. This episode is just a little respite, a little holiday respite.
Yeah, my heart just dropped a little. I was like, oh god, did I miss something?
No, it's just a little respite in terms of all the other episodes. They're 2-parters because it's an hour long epic.
Okay.
Before we jump on before you jump on the train to get to the big old grand finale called Starcross, we had a nice little holiday respite, just kind of building on some relationships, just building some dynamics we like, and then just little fun holiday excursion called Comfort and Joy.
Oh yeah. This is definitely my favorite of the 3 that we've reviewed tonight for sure. So, do you have any background on this?
Oh, yeah, a little background, yeah.
All right.
So, Comfort and Joy, I believe, are written by, if I'm remembering this correctly, it's been a while. I believe written by the wonderful Dwayne McDuffie, who unfortunately, years ago he passed away, but he was a darling of a writer. He was very talented. I believe he did. At least I know he did some good stuff with the character dynamics. Alan Burnett also worked on this. This one, Alan Burnett has always had a hand in, particularly the Batman things, but he's always had a hand in just helping out the DC universe.
Well, Batman is seriously absent this special.
Yes, which I'll get into in a moment.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm pretty sure Dwayne McDuffie had a lot to do with this episode because it has his stamp of characters, particularly the Martian Manhunter, who was always a favorite.
Yeah, and he was definitely the emotional highlight.
Now, I could be wrong on this because it has been a while, but I'm pretty sure it is because it's strongly hinted at given the dynamics. These are really I can smell the Dwayne McDuffie writing stamp on these.
Oh, sure.
Because McDuffie's big contribution to just comics and storytelling in general is that Justice League could have been that kind of stereotypical hit, basically a trap you can fall into with superhero teams. And luckily, the Avengers hasn't fallen into this, and neither has this show. But some comics, if you will, they'll just be basically characters amped up to stereotypical levels. Like Wonder Woman would be like the ultimate feminist. Batman would just be the jerk in the cape.
Right.
Superman would be Superman just be why do you need a team if you have this guy? Basically. Dwayne McDuffie is one of those guys. He gave dimension to characters. Like, you care about the relationships, you care about the people behind the mask, you care about the little character moments. Those are Dwayne McDuffie's stamp. Like, we get a lot of dimension with the Martian Manhunter, particularly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and usually anything with the relationships, the thanks to Dwayne McDuffie, particularly the Green Lantern Shire relationship, that's all Dwayne McDuffie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's more of a character relationships and dimension fun moments guy.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, it's a shame he passed away before his time, but boy did he have a big stamp on animation today and just writing in general. But anyway, so also he had a huge hand in the Static Shock, just the character Static Shock.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But anyway, so comfort and enjoy against. Now they figured let's do a holiday episode, but particularly I should mention in terms of background. Yes, you're right, Tiggy. Batman is absent from this version. It's kind of funny that Batman gets 2 Christmas specials. He's missing from the team one.
Right. I was like, what, is Batman too good for the Justice League around the holidays? Is he like swanking it up in his mansion?
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Tiki.
Okay.
Because well, first of all, let me say this that I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But let me say this. So originally, yeah, I remember what I was going to say now. Yeah, Batman, from the get-go, Justice League, you should know this, that Batman is a part-timer. He's not really a team player, so he just says, from the beginning of the show, when they were forming the team, he said directly, it's a really cool moment, he says, yeah, I'm a part-timer. When you need me, I'll be there, but until then, I'm focused on Gotham, pretty much. So, I mean, it makes sense of Batman's character. Batman's always going to be in Gotham, so he's not a team player. He doesn't want to be on team unless he actually needs to be there.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Batman's not a team player, as we saw so greatly in the Lego movie.
Oh, certainly. But yeah, that's usually Batman's shtick, and I've always loved that about the guy. Even though in my childhood mind, just loving Batman, I was like, man, Batman should be the leader of Justice League. He's the guy that comes up with the plans and everything.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Like Superman doesn't have. No, Superman has some leadership skills. I'm kidding. But thing with Batman, the reason he's not in this special because there was the story that's in the Justice League Unlimited comic. Now this is Justice League, this is Unlimited, so it might be just inspired from this, but I believe it's coming from a deleted story. I'm holding firm on that.
Okay.
I'm sure it's so similar. I'm sure I'm just kind of going on a guess for that though.
Right.
It could be entirely possible just kind of riffing on what happened in this special because essentially Flash's story originally incorporated Batman.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was a really touching story, and there's a comic that details this whole story with Batman in it, which is really good. In my opinion, a little better.
Oh.
But don't get me wrong, the one we get here is great with Flash. But I'm saying Batman. I'll regale you with the story real quick, just give you the earmarks of it.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it's in the Justice League Unlimited like comics line, so like it ties into the animated stuff type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it's around the holidays. Batman's against the holidays. Also, actually, it's funny enough. Batman's story was also Martian Manhunter's story. It was both of those stories combined.
Okay.
Seriously.
Weird.
So originally, Batman he wanted Manhunter duty during the holidays. He wanted that, but he didn't get it.
So is Batman scrooging it up, shall we say?
Yes. And also, it's kind of funny. We actually have a ghost in this special. In this version, the Phantom Stranger. Are you familiar at all? Yeah, not familiar at all. The Phantom Stranger.
Probably not.
The Phantom Stranger, essentially, usually he plays the ghost of Christmas future type guy. I mean, not just future. He's like the ghost of Christmas past. I mean, past. That guy. So essentially, he talks to the Flash, and basically Flash says, "Why is Batman so crabby or antisocial around the holidays?" And the Phantom Stranger takes him through the past. Basically, allows him to ghost through and observe Batman, observe his past, and observe the present with him.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, we find that Batman was invited to visit Superman's parents, and they're in full costume too, by the way. So basically, Batman's invited to the Kent's house, and
you're right. It literally is Martian Manhunter's story.
Yeah, so Batman meets the Kents, and he says, "Hello" is really kind of. I hate using this word, but it's kind of awkward. And there's a funny moment, really touching moment in my opinion, because you're going to see an episode coming up in our animated series discussions. Batman loves this show called The Grey Ghost.
Oh yeah, I know all about that. Oh yeah.
So essentially, Grey Ghost. So essentially, with the Grey Ghost, it's Superman also watched the Grey Ghost when he was a kid, and it's kind of funny that these play with the dynamic that Superman Superman was a little scared by the gray ghost, where Batman just then fully embraced it.
Oh, that's great.
So basically, they're going through the Christmas ornaments, and they're hanging the Christmas ornaments, and like there's a funny moment where Batman hangs one and just breaks. Just it's a moment of like comedic timing. It's like he's giving it a shot. He like hangs again. He's in full costume in this place in suburbia, in the Kent's house. He puts it on the tree. It falls. It shatters. And Superman says, "Oh, it's fine. You wouldn't believe the number of Christmas ornaments I've broken over the years." And then basically says, "Okay, be careful with this one. This one's my favorite. The Gray Ghost." And Batman says, "You watch the Gray Ghost?" Says, "Oh yeah, it scared me as a kid though." And Batman kind of a memory's triggered in Batman. Batman makes an excuse to get out of there. So Alfred needs me for something. He puts his hand up to his ear, or like Jean needs me for something. John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, and he teleports out there and Flash says, "What gives?" He bolted out of there and says, "Let's go to the past." They go to the past, and we see. You see, this is important. We see a young Bruce Wayne on Christmas morning. He's opening. He's opening gifts. Mind you, this is like a year or two after the I want to say a year or a few months after the tragedy.
Okay.
It's around the holidays, so it's Christmas Day. Wakes up and Alfred's there and basically gifts under the tree. Alfred insists, "Come on, Master Bruce, please open the gift. It's Christmas."
Right.
He opens the present and it's a gray ghost with a plane.
Oh, nice.
So it's a gray ghost and you put him in the plane. It's a cool looking toy. But then Bruce Wayne, for a moment, just this kid Bruce Wayne, he's usually kind of a gloomy kid, and he sees this and he goes out of his mind happy for a moment. He's like, "Oh, yes." He goes, "Yeah, this is great. I love it," because he loves the gray ghost.
Oh.
Again, his father was a big reason he loved the gray ghost, and for a second he's so happy, and then Flash is like making comments like, "Boy, if I was a kid and I had all this, I'd be always happy." And
right.
And then basically Bruce then for a moment, only for a moment does he go nuts over the toy, but then we see the expression. He looks at the painting of his parents, and the sadness sets in, and he's mad at himself for getting happy for a moment, for forgetting, because for a moment the Phantom Stranger tells Flash this, "Well, what gives? Why do you turn all gloomy?" He says, "Because he remembered. For a moment he forgot, then he remembered." And then like Alfred's sad. Alfred says, "What's wrong, Master Bruce?" Thank you for the gifts, Alfred. Thank you. Just I'll have breakfast. That'll be it." Mm-hmm. And then you see Alfred sheds a tear because he's just so sad that, oh man, the kid, he can't even enjoy Christmas anymore.
Yeah.
Essentially, it gets bought back by the end. Basically, Flash foils a Christmas. I should mention Flash snapped to Batman earlier on, saying, "Why you gotta be so crabby around the holidays?"
Mm-hmm.
Then essentially, Flash stops an arms store robbery, and basically he stops like a toy store robbery. And then basically the guy says, "Oh, thank you so much. You saved our lives. Can I do anything for you?" And basically Flash gets a toy, and he gives Batman a Christmas gift. He opens it. It's the same toy. It's the gray ghost in the plane.
Oh, okay.
And Batman's like he's blown away. He says, "Thanks, Flash." "Hey, Flash." And Flash is, "Well, we're just happy you did a good thing." He says, "Hey, Flash, if you go downstairs next to the tree, there's going to be downstairs to the watch there's going to be like a tree. Under the tree there's going to be a gift. It's like a big box. Open it. It's a new game station or a new place." They can't say PlayStation. It's the new gaming system you want.
Oh, come on, GameSphere.
It's a sweet moment. And Batman's like just sitting there with the plane out of the box. It's just a nice, happy moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the story that was deleted, but also the real version. This one I can confirm. So that one there was a story that could have been inspired by this, but it sounds like it was a deleted idea, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the gag this is the meta gag.
Oh god.
They say that Batman's he begged for monitor duty. They say that in the episode. But someone did a storyboard sketch. I wish to God I could find this thing. That Paul Dini said there was a sketch of basically Batman surrounded by all the women of the DC universe in the Batcave having like a Christmas party.
That's crazy.
So I mean, I think Wonder Woman was there. You had Catwoman, you had Zatanna. So basically all the chicks that Batman.
That's amazing.
Also Talia al Ghul. So basically that was Batman smiling. Basically it's like
I
a
wish
Playboy.
there would have been like a Family Guy style cutaway gag to that somewhere in this episode.
So basically it would have been like a Playboy Mansion style Batman scenario.
That would also explain Wonder Woman's absence.
Yeah. But also that's another thing I like to think of. I like to think that Diana also has monitor duty with Batman. Just kind of, it's in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing contradicting. I mean, what Wonder Woman's just not in the special. That'd be a good explanation if she also had monitor duty, or maybe she secretly snuck in on Batman having monitor duty.
Right, right. Oh,
So
yeah.
he wouldn't be alone during the holidays, because they have a relationship going on secretly.
For sure, for sure.
Could be nice. Anyway, so that's pretty much all the background, I guess.
All right, all right. So let's dive into the actual recap of this episode. There's a lot of good stuff packed into 23 minutes here.
Yeah, sorry to go through a long tangent on that, but I kind of wish that story was in here.
Yeah, it's fine.
Both of them, but still.
Okay, so we start our little Christmas special on a snowy ice planet of sorts. The aliens, Blue Dragon 5, kind of remind me, I wrote down on my notes, they're like a cross between Zoidberg and Ewoks.
Yeah.
Like, they're like these little weird, like, crab kind of creatures.
Yeah, I remember the crab guys.
Yeah. So, like you said, it's kind of it's kind of just a cold open, we're sort of just like, wait, whoa, what's going on?
We're just in the middle of the action. Essentially, we're seeing what the Justice League does best. We don't really need to explain. Their point is they're saving someone. The Martian Manhunter plays a big role in saving those people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's
then
a
at the end,
nice little beat of action to start us out.
Then at the end, I think it just pretty much, if I'm correct here, Tig, it just ends with basically Superman saying, I wonder what he's doing for the holidays, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, first
what happens?
I did really like just the one bit with Flash running around and putting all the stuff in the computers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just a nice little display of the Flash's powers right there.
Oh, and you know who voices the Flash, don't you?
No, I don't. Is it Billy West?
No, not Billy.
Oh, okay.
It's not Billy West.
I don't know why I thought Billy West for some reason. I don't know.
It's Michael Rosenbaum.
Okay, who's he? You'll have to refresh my memory.
Oh, sorry. A lot of people know him as Lex Luthor on Smallville.
Oh, okay, nice. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Also, Phil Lamar as Green Lantern.
Oh, yeah, I kind of caught. Yeah, I kind of picked up on that a little bit.
George Newbern as this Superman, and Maria Canales, wonderful Maria Canales, is Hawkgirl.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, after they save the ice planet, they stabilize the ice planet, as it were. There's actually kind of a little bit of kind of like Green Lantern sort of goes off on his own, and Hawkgirl catches up with him, and Blue Dragon 5 for like just a second, like just a split second, like literally, because this theory got disproven right away with the Martian Manhunter stuff. But I was like, oh, is Green Lantern going to be the one that's like kind of like the Fonzie who just wants to, spend the holidays alone, and the special is going to be about like, oh, we have to cheer up Green Lantern. But no, literally right away, it's just like, oh, Martian Manhunter, what are you doing for Christmas?
Yeah, Green Lantern loves to play in the snow. There's nothing wrong with that.
I know, that's like literally like the opposite of what I was expecting when I first saw Green Lantern walking away.
Well, yeah, Green Lantern's a former Marine in this version.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
It's kind of funny. In the comic, he's an architect, but in the cartoon, he's a Marine. He's a former Marine.
Mm-hmm. I really like the Jon Stewart incarnation of Green Lantern in general.
Oh yeah, I tell you, the little minor thing, short thing to bring up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people, it's amazing how much of an impact Jon Stewart's had on Green Lantern. People, I remember I used to wear a shirt, now it's a Raw shirt. People like Neil Adams have been talking about this in Excess lately when he's been on Fat Man on Batman.
Yeah, right.
But I'll mention this, my little story. Basically, I used to wear this Alex Ross shirt with all the characters on it. They had Hal Stewart. I had Hal Jordan, Green Lantern on my shirt with all the Alex Ross heroes of the Justice League. I forget if Jon Stewart was actually on the back of the shirt or not, but regardless, Hal Jordan was on there.
Right.
And people would come up to me of both races, white, black, you name it. They'd all come up to me, and well, at least they wouldn't come up to me if I passed them, and they'd point, look at the shirt, and they say, "Wait a second, isn't Jon Stewart I thought Jon Stewart's Green Lantern, or if not that, they'd say, like, I thought Green Lantern was black. So,
Right.
Well, no,
right.
there's two. I have to explain to him. Well, yeah, that's from the cartoon. And in the comics, it's this guy.
Oh god.
But it's kind of a nice little thing that he's breached a lot of sensibilities.
Always leads to like an awkward conversation that just totally like reveals your geeky side.
Well, it delights me because I know people are watching the cartoon. That delights me.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
That's really just I love about it. Just telling people, it enforces to me that, oh man, this cartoon really has had some resonancy. That's so cool.
Oh yeah. So so we cut to Superman and the Flash are asking Martian Manhunter what he's doing for Christmas. Martian Manhunter responds, well, this holiday serves no meaning for me. Flash is like, well, gee, what's up with him? He's a little frosty. And Superman, he's just like, well, I'm going to change that. So that's kind of our basic setup.
Oh, yeah. I love how just the instant parallel there is that Superman is the last of his kind, but Martian Manhunter is a little more so worse for wear because think about it. Superman was a baby when he landed on Earth, and he was raised by good people. Martian Manhunter, I should mention this to you in case you weren't familiar with Martian Manhunter.
Not at all.
Martian Manhunter, he had a family, and he lost. Like his planet was invaded by these things called White Martians. They were the alien force that invaded in the first episode of the series.
Okay, interesting. Huh.
So that when John Jones got teleported to the planet, so did those White Martian guys, or at least they invaded the Earth when Jon Stewart was kidnapped.
Right. Just a quick nitpicky question: is his name like Jean or Jon?
Well, it's technically it's spelled like J little slash like comma mark ONN. It's pronounced Jean, kind of like a little French thing.
Okay, I was just wondering. Yeah, I was just wondering if I had that French.
It's pronounced. It's like a little Frenchy pronunciation. So it's
okay.
Like John Jones.
Right. Like Jean Philippe or something like that.
Yeah, like if you call him John, I guess it's not the end of the world. But Jean is.
Right. I hear you.
Anyway.
Okay.
So the point is, so Jean, we see in the series at some point, so he had a wife named Myria, which out of context, the superhero enthusiast and I have a running gag of saying his wife's name because Carl Lumbly's delivery of her name is so funny.
Why is that?
It's like at one point there's this episode where Martian Manhunter has a nightmare about basically Martian Manhunter dreams of his family. It's a really sad sequence.
I know. But, what is so funny about this?
The funny thing, it's so darkly funny when you really think about it. The Martian Manhunter, it's such a sad sequence. He sees his family in a deluded dream. It's a hallucination. And once he realizes it's a dream, he's like crying out for his wife. But just the delivery of it just kind of cracks the enthusiast out of context. Only out of context is it funny when we say it like this. Maria!
Oh my god.
Just out of context, it's funny. Maria! It's like Harvey No. Remember Harvey No?
No, I don't.
Harvey No.
Oh yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah. What I always think of is just really quick before we get back to the episode, Dexter, when Angel married LaGuardia in Dexter, me and my ex-girlfriend actually had this running gag of, he says like a million times, he's like, but Maria, he's like a puppy dog. He's like, but Maria. Okay, but anyways, back to the episode.
Yes, back to the episode. The point is, he had a wife and 2 sons, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
And basically, he's the last Martian, so he watches people die, and then he got teleported, and he's a little worse off. And he was an adult when this happened, so he lost.
Right.
So he was completely really unfamiliar to.
For sure.
He's more of an outsider. He was completely unfamiliar to the Earth ways as an adult, so it's a little rougher on that guy.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so after the little Justice League intro that we get, we see the opening scene post-credits is Green Lantern on... he kind of uses his little... I don't know how you describe it, but the Green Lantern...
his power ring.
Yeah, his power ring to make a little kind of snowboard. This is just great. I just love the idea of a guy who's just so enthused by snow that he's like, oh, hold on, guys, I got to... I think it's amazing how Phil Lamar transforms to do that voice. Like, have you ever seen Phil Lamar? He's a really skinny guy. Oh, yeah.
And the way he describes doing the voice for Jon Stewart is basically he imagines him with a huge chest.
Oh god.
He's looked at the design. He basically gave him that deep voice, kind of fit that chest build.
Sure. But I just love the idea this guy is just like, yeah, I'm just going to go here for a second and play in the snow like a little kid. Whee!
It's adorable. But also, I love it when he makes the snowman out of the green, with the green lantern.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, for sure. I just wrote in my notes, do you want to build a snowman?
Oh, God, I've never thought of that until this moment.
Are you serious? Oh, God. Unfortunately, I think with Frozen, it's like, people with ice powers and snowmen have pretty much been ruined forever.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Oh god.
At least Mr. Freeze is somewhat safe.
Somewhat.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have powers, it's just the gun.
I mean, Mr. Freeze, he has been the subject of many a Let It Go parody, so...
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay,
so Jon Stewart, he's... Oh, good.
Yeah, so Hawkgirl comes in, and she's just like... she's, like, amused by this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and, so, they... and Green Lantern, he's kind of, he's just trying to show Hawkgirl what's so great about snow, making a snow angel, making a snowman, all that stuff, and then finally, they kind of get into a snow fight, and,
more like a snow battle.
Right. And I love the moment where Hawkgirl just kind of throws that big pile of snow. Doesn't she, isn't it that she throws a snowman on him? Is that it?
I don't know, I just saw the huge
snow.
I saw a huge pile of snow. I can't.
Okay. And and then he's just like, "Baby, you are asking for it."
And
really
there should be
chemistry there.
Then just this is gonna be prevalent point that they've been really smartly kind of playing out the relationship between you. So it's one of if you thought who'd you think was the Ross and Rachel?
Oh God. Helga and Arnold.
Helga and Arnold. I don't know. I thought you said for something else. Okay, anyway, so the point is if you thought they were Ross and Rachel, these two are the actual kind of Ross and Rachel, and then you're really, I mean, this is definitely the will they won't they relationship.
Oh, God. Okay.
Even Joker makes fun of this too, by the way. There's a hilarious moment in Wild Cards where Joker says, after he basically, before he sets a bomb off, he says, "Will," or after, I think it's after. I don't know, I can't remember if it's before or after. Point is, he says, "Will Hawkgirl realize her feelings for Green Lantern?" Or will...
So he kind of frames it as a soap opera.
Yeah, and then he says, "Will she put down that big honking mace?"
That's a badass weapon, by the way. I love that.
Yeah, and then basically says, "A lot of romantic tension, not on my show." Then he blows him up.
That's great.
Point is, they're a really good Ross. They're like a far better done Ross and Rachel, in my opinion.
Oh God.
There's no stupid break story.
Yeah, Ross and Rachel. It was basically like 10 whole freaking years of just
But the point is, they've been building it smartly, the relationship between those two, and this is getting like right before they officially become a couple.
Okay.
So it's like they're still really good chemistry, and like they're showing emotion, but it's kind of like they're kind of denying things.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely like being around each other. That most definitely.
All right. So after that we get a scene. It's kind of in an Is it an orphanage?
Well, does she suggest the travel plans yet or no?
Does who suggest?
Does Hawkgirl suggest going to the bar yet?
Oh no, that's the next scene.
Okay, never mind. So
Yeah.
So wouldn't next be Flash?
Yeah, next is Flash. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it an orphanage that he visits?
Yeah, it's an orphanage. He's visiting orphans.
All right, just making sure. So there's this really great comedic timing on this lady who's in charge of the orphan. She's like, "Okay, children, that jolly man in the red suit is coming to make his yearly visit," and then the Flash shows up. Oh, that's great.
What's nice is that they have some really nice teases of the Santa Claus here, where you think you're actually going to see a Santa Claus in the DC universe.
I'll get to that in a second. There's one in particular gag that I really like that kind of cracked me up.
Okay.
But yeah, So Flash comes in. You know, he's really good with the kids. I assume that's a character trait of his.
Well, oh yeah, he is. Everyone loves him in his city, so it's kind of like the opposite of Batman.
Oh, that's great.
So it's like he's not the Flash is the hero. Central City deserves it. They deserve a pretty nice guy.
Oh my god.
So yeah, everyone loves the Flash, and I tell you one thing, Tiki, with this new Flash show that's coming on there, I hope they capture when we do see the glimpses of Flash in his city, you're gonna fall in love with it. Or you fall in love with it whenever you see. There's this episode called Flash and Substance and Unlimited where I just want to see a show about the Flash. That's that episode times 1,000. I mean, like at least 1,000 episodes of that, because I could never get tired. It's like the mundanity incarnate of what I love about these things.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, yeah.
It's like the villain dynamics. Like I would have hoped the series eventually gets to that point. Anyway, so Flash always has dynamic. He's like that public figure everyone loves, and he has a museum after him. People built the museum for him, so they gotta love him.
Wait, is it the museum that the Ultra Humanite is destroying?
No. It's a
okay, just
museum.
check it.
That's an art museum, but this one, like Flash, actually gets in the series. They show it in the comics and in the series. He has a Flash museum, like all the little trophies, like how Batman has his Batcave. It's an officially sanctioned Flash museum.
Okay, so Flash asks the orphans, you know, so what do you guys want this year? You know, do you want a new video game? Do you want sports equipment? And no, the kids are fixated on this
DJ Rubber
product.
DJ Rubber Ducky.
No. Be proper, Blue Dragon 5. It is DJ Rubber Ducky.
Are you serious?
That's how they were pronouncing it with an A.
Rubber?
Rubber.
DJ Rubber Ducky.
Yes.
Say my name.
You know what instantly popped in my head when I saw
Howard the Duck.
5? No. Quack Pack.
Oh God, don't mention it. Oh.
The frickin' spin-off of DuckTales where they tried to make Huey, Dewey, Louie all hip. That's like what instantly struck by. It's like, oh hey, they made a frickin' toy out of Quack Pack.
I was just thinking like a hip hop version of Howard the Duck.
Oh god.
That farts.
yes, a very extended fart joke.
Again, I think I'm a good judge of bathroom and fart humor. Given my love of Family Guy, I think at least I'm a fair judge on that. And I gotta say, it's a cheap laugh, but at least they're making it a satire, saying like, kids just like
definitely.
farts. Kids like fart jokes.
I think it's the fact that it's a satire and also the Flash's reaction to it, and also the fact that timing-wise, it goes on a little too long, which works for the comedy.
I mean, the Flash, I love how the Flash is kind of amused by it. He's kind of weirded out by it. He's also kind of amused by it because he's the Flash.
Yeah, at first he's like, wait, what is it?
Now, Tiki, in case you're wondering, so you know, so this Flash is you rarely see him unmasked until the finale of this season. He's Wally West, so he's the fun-loving Flash. So,
okay.
Yeah, cool. Barry Allen, who's the first guy, is going to be in the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Barry Allen. Basically, this guy is like technically he's related to the Flash. He's in the Flash's family. Like in the comics, he was Kid Flash, then the Flash, but here they just made him the original.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. But really
same origin. He was struck by lightning and chemicals and stuff.
Sure.
Anyway.
Okay, so then after that, the Flash promises, like, well, I'm going to get you guys a Rubber Ducky. And the,
Tiki. DJ Rubber Ducky.
We need to make DJ Rubber Ducky a running joke now.
No, God, no. We're not making that running joke. Are you insane?
I love my running jokes.
Pick a better running joke, like Maria or something. I don't care. Something on it.
Hey, I even have Hipster Donald. I can turn Hipster Donald into DJ.
I knew you were going to say that!
All right, now that idea's in my head.
Okay,
so
next.
Where that goes.
Moving on the story.
Okay. So but the lady who runs the orphanage, unfortunately, she's like, Well, sorry, Flash, but, it's a holiday special, and if a kid wants a toy, we gotta have the cliche that it's sold out everywhere, so...
Jingle All the Way reference. No, it's not. I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
And he's in a red suit and yellow like Turbo Man, too.
Oh, my God, you're right.
But no. So basically, he goes there. It's sold out. Does he get the idea yet, or are we? Where's Superman yet? Are we? Do we have not get?
No,
Superman
this is where we are. Flash. So Flash is just like, oh, I'm the Flash. I'll find it. So he runs off, and then we'll catch up with him later, and then
Okay.
yeah, Clark and the Martian Manhunter arrive at the Kent house for Christmas. Oh God, I love this scene, Blue Dragon 5. Martian Manhunter, he almost refers to Clark as Superman. He's like, Super Clark invited me. And then I really like the line, Pa Kent's like, oh, come in, Martian Manhunter. We're no strangers to aliens in this house. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny, but it's also pretty poignant. It's like, yeah, the kids, they're a very, very accepting people. Even if it's, black, white, green, purple, they'll accept anyone. So I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. We get, oh God. So I just love the idea that Clark Kent is just like a big little kid on Christmas, essentially.
And by the way, I don't know if you're going to cover this or not, but yeah, they mentioned that Kara and Barbara are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the reason Martian Manhunter has a room to stay in, and the reason he's staying in such a girly room, is
Right.
that Supergirl lives on the farm with the Kents, Kara, Kara Zor-El and or Supergirl,
Mm-hmm.
and she's buddies. It's really, and this does tie into the something in the animated series, the Batman animated series,
Right.
that we have an episode where basically Batgirl meets Supergirl and they become buddies, and they go
that's
on
cool.
ski trips together, which is nice.
Yeah, I definitely picked up on that for sure. Okay, so Martian Manhunter, he's staying in Kara's room, and I really love the line, Clark, we're gonna light the tree, and then Clark runs up, hey, that's my job.
Oh, did they mention the lead thing yet?
No, that's later. I love that.
Okay.
But then probably the most poignant moment in the whole episode happens, I think, where a cat walks up to Martian Manhunter, and he just really quietly, he's alone in the room, and he's just really quietly like, Kitty. And then the cat just like screeches at him and runs off, and Martian Manhunter's just really sad. I was like, "Oh,
by the way,
Manhunter."
That cat's a nod to Superman, by the way. That cat, there's a cat in the Superman comics called Streaky the Super Cat who has. And if you ever watch Crypto the Superdog, the TV show, he appears in that.
I have seen that from time to time.
Well, that's why the cat's orange. That's why the cat's orange.
Okay.
It's Streaky.
All right, so then after that we cut to the Green Lantern and Hawkgirl. They're in the middle of their snow battle, as you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fight. It's just a good time, and basically I forget exactly how this comes about, but Greenland, Hawkgirl. Do you want to tell us a little bit of background about Hawkgirl?
No, sure. So, without getting too elaborate with things, I guess, just Hawkgirl's background, to everyone's knowledge at this point in the series, is that she, since the first episode, basically, she said her reasoning for why she's on Earth is that she was a cop on, essentially she was a space cop, space ranger. No, I'm kidding, not space ranger.
Okay.
She was on Thanagar. Thanagar being the planet with the winged people.
Mm-hmm.
Because at times the whole Hawkman, Hawkgirl mythology, it's usually the wings are either organic or non-organic. They're either aliens or not aliens. It's a whole ordeal.
Right.
But it's like take it or leave it. They changed it. But right now, so those wings they're on her, like they're naturally grown out of her back. So points she's a cop. She's chasing down some bad guys. Got hit with apparently, and I was surprised. It's been a long time since I remembered her origin story or cover story. She got trapped into she had zapped with a Zeta beam
No.
when pursuing two criminals and landed on Earth. And just kind of stuck it out there, pretty much. I mean, she knows she has other people on the planet, but either it's just not haven't been priority or she can't get there. She can't get back to her planet.
Right.
One of those. The point is she's kind of alone on Earth.
Okay,
But she's been around she's been
so,
around the galaxy, though. She's been a traveler, though, so, you know.
Right. So, you know, she just kind of makes a point, well, you know, well, they don't, you know, this holiday, again, kind of like Martian Manhunter, kind of echoing him a little bit, like, well, you know, Christmas isn't great and all, but, you know, back where I was from, they celebrated in a different way, and as a matter of fact, I found a planet that celebrated the same way, but, you know, it's far away, and you wouldn't like it, and, you know, and John, I really like this line. He's like, baby, I got a day off and a full power supply. Just try me.
That's a neat thing, because Green Lantern does have to recharge that power battery. It's nice when they mention that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I always worry, though. I'm really, the thing with Green Lantern, whenever he mentions charging the power battery, I kind of wish they at one point address like kind of the measurement of that, because I always worry, like, every little thing, like he's doing the little snowman bit, I'm worried, Green Lantern, you gotta conserve your power, man. That thing is used to fight crime. Use that thing to fight crime, or to breathe in space. You're gonna need that, so don't waste it on the snowman.
Oh.
But, you know, as long as it has enough. He's got a 24 hours, it must work.
Yeah, sure. So they're off to this planet to celebrate this in the holiday spirit, like Hawkgirl's familiar with. So we'll catch up on them a little bit later. Right. Meanwhile, the Flash, he's got a mission. He's got to track down the DJ Rubber Ducky. And you know, so we get a So we get a really fun montage of him looking around at stores. There's that one nice bit where, I'm sure he does this a lot, probably, where he's running by the car and the kid sees him and he waves to the kid.
Yeah.
That feels like I don't know much about the Flash character, but that just feels like a classic thing he would do.
Yeah, that's definitely Flash.
Oh yeah, and I like the bit where he shows up at the store and the one guy's like, "Oh, thank God you're here, Flash! This guy sold out of the dolls. Why don't you just go kick his ass?" Essentially, rough him up a bit.
Again, people really, the Flash is kind of the celebrity of the place. He's very approachable. That Flash. He's not like.
So the Flash is like, oh man, this is gonna be harder than I thought. So we see kind of the classic montage going store to store. They're all sold out, and then I love this moment. Blue Dragon 5. He looks at it's kind of like a miniature diorama of the North Pole.
A little store display of like a toy shop or something. Like a little Santa Claus building something in the window.
And then the Flash is like, oh yeah, I'll just go straight to the source. And Blue Dragon 5, oh my god, just what instantly popped up in my head was the Flash showing up at the North Pole and just looking around and just like, it's just all barren and icy and whatnot. It's just like, oh, where's Santa?
It kind of gives for a second I was a kid, I kind of thought like, oh man, this gives my Batman Saving Christmas idea credence. But that didn't really pan out.
But yeah, like you said, it's kind of a clever little tease that we're gonna see Santa for.
Yeah, because you think for a second, oh man, it's deep. Like it's a good thing they don't really go with the cheesy cliche of like, oh man, there is a Santa Claus in the DC universe.
But no, by the source we mean I don't know, is it China or whatever?
No, it's Japan.
Oh, it's Japan. Okay. Sure.
Haven't you learned anything from Back to the Future 3, Tiki? All the best stuff's made in Japan.
All I know about Asian ethnicity comes from King of the Hill. So are you Chinese or Japanese? No, I keyed.
Well, Japanese is the more friendly one, Tiki.
Oh god. So speaking of friendly, the guy who makes the the DJ Rubber Duckies. It's the last one, conveniently the very last one available. And he's like, "Oh, Flash, you're such a good guy that here, have the last one." So, all right. So
that's a nice bit, though. Nice that Flash's reputation. Plus he told him. I'm sure he told him this for orphan kids. That's nice.
Sure. All right. So we'll see the Flash.
Oh, you know what's kind of funny? I realized this. I mentioned that Batman story at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's Batman. It's Flash is helping out an orphan with a gift in both stories.
Right. Oh God.
Anyway.
Oh no. Okay, so
where are we now? Are we with the Martian Manhunter, or
yeah.
Are we in space? Okay,
so we're at the dinner table with Martian Manhunter and Clark and the Kents, and this is where we get the great detail that the Kents would wrap their presents in lead and foil to prevent Clark from using his X-ray vision to peer through them. Oh, that's
and then even better, Tiki.
Yeah.
Clark Kent's reaction. I'm sure some people are like rolling their eyes at this, but I loved it. I buy it. I love it. I'll explain why I buy it in a second.
Uh-huh.
Clark Kent just says, as he's drinking the coffee, kind of like stops for a second before he drinks the coffee. Says, "You mean when Santa wrapped them? You mean when Santa wrapped them?"
Oh my God, that's wonderful.
Now, it's two things. One, kind of the thing I never thought of as a way to interpret it, but I think I might be wrong given what we see next.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe it was Clark kind of signaling that let's keep the idea of Santa Claus alive for John,
Right, sure, okay.
But given what happens later on when he's actually, he's attempting to do... I'm assuming no, that's not the case. But still, just think of it like this, Tiki.
Oh.
In the grand scheme of things, it's really it's a fun joke. It's a fun gag, which we can't hold it. It's Christmas. That's the Christmas pass we give.
I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't mind it at all.
I love it. I love it myself. I'm just saying for anyone who's like down on it. Mm. But regardless, though, here's something you got to think of to give it credence. Okay,
yeah.
You live in the DC universe, a world where Superman can fly. Superman, he comes from a distant planet. And if you were a kid, if you were Superman, and you hear about Santa Claus, you think, "Oh man, there's some guy kind of like me around here."
Exactly.
So why wouldn't you believe in Santa Claus?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. That's kind of the logic that was going through my head too.
And even growing up, I mean, you're part of the Justice League. A guy with a power ring, a guy who can run super fast, a guy who dresses up like a bat. Anything's possible.
Well, there's a lot of people that dress up like bats.
Well, I mean, Tiki, a guy who dresses up like a bat clearly has issues.
Yeah, and probably the people that are running around posing as Batman probably clearly have issues as well. But that's a whole other story.
Anyway.
Oh, God. So, yeah.
So it's a really funny bit. Just Superman thinks that Santa Claus wraps the gifts in lead.
Mm-hmm.
Really
but then
funny.
we get this nice moment where, with the Kents, they insist that Green Lantern take a present. And Green Lantern is just like, "But I have no gift for you."
Oh, this scene's adorable to me.
Yeah, it really is.
This kind of embodies the Christmas spirit. The Kents are always the nicest people in the DC universe, and you go.
Basically, yeah.
I've always wanted to see the Kents. Always wanted to see Pa Kent meet Alfred.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're right. That would be glorious.
I got that once. There's one moment in the comics that makes this happen.
Okay.
I'll mention it really, really quick. It's just really quick. But essentially, there's just kind of this what-if scenario. Well, it's not even a what-if scenario. It's kind of like they say it happened, but all the retcons and whatnot happening nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Point is, Bruce Wayne was in his car, and they're driving through Smallville for some reason, he and Alfred. And the car broke down, and Pa Kent helps Alfred change the tire.
Oh, that's great. And
while that's happening, Bruce and Clark, they're sparring in a field or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're playing baseball. I think they're sparring in the farm.
Right.
It's a cute little moment. And anyway, so the minor thing, but the point is, I would love to see the Kents, both of the Kents, talk to Alfred. Like that'd be a nice scene. Anyway, the nicest people in the DC universe taking pity on our Martian Manhunter because again they sympathize, they get it. He's alone, like Clark
Yeah,
was.
like I said, they're no strangers to aliens. You know, they totally get it. So,
Well, I mean, they're the most friendly people ever that can't see that. You gotta love them being nice to one of our guys here.
unless you're Pa Kent from Man of Steel, then it's a completely different story. But I won't touch that. I won't touch that.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
Tiki, it's Christmas. You can't let me have it on Christmas.
Maybe you should just let the kids down. I don't know. No, don't save me, son. Don't save me. Okay, I don't know. I could just.
You are a sad, strange little Tiki.
Okay, but anyways, the Martian Manhunter, he opens his present, and it is a sweater, and I believe Blue Dragon 5, it's kind of like a whitish sweater like I'm wearing.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
it might have like a stripe on or something, I don't know.
Okay, and
maybe.
Martian Man, fits him rather snugly, but he has this great line. He's like, "I will grow into it."
Yeah, it's loosely. It fits him loosely because she says she had to guess the size, but then he says, "I'll grow into it." And he does the shape-shifting thing where he's a little buffer now.
Right.
I guess she's using. I think she's using Superman's measurements. To be honest with you.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. Yeah, it's a cute little thing. They made him a sweater. Those Kents are some nice folk.
Oh yeah. Unless you're from Man of Steel.
Will you stop? Let me have this. This is Christmas, man.
All right. So anyway, we cut to Hawkgirl and Green Lantern, and they arrive on, I must say, a very Blade Runner-looking planet.
Yes, that's intentional.
That vibe.
That's intentional, Tiki.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
It's actually the place. It's a location on a moon somewhere. It's I'm just trying to think of what's it. It's basically a space bar on a moon somewhere.
Right.
Like an alien moon. So.
Yeah. Very grotesque looking creatures here. I think there's like a slug looking thing at some point.
Yeah. It's funny. I think he was taken out of the thing, but it would have been great if they left him in. I'm pretty sure they took him out. Lobo was in the background originally. It's kind of funny because Lobo had a Christmas special. You can actually find it on YouTube. Actually, it's Lobo's Christmas special. It's really a weird one.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Okay, you know who Lobo is, don't you?
Not really. No.
Lobo is essentially he was a Superman. He's in the animated series.
Okay.
He's a bounty hunter. He's an alien bounty hunter who's voiced by Brad Garrett, and do I need to say
no? No, you do not.
And he's fantastic. In the comics, he's basically his uncensored version of that character in the comics. He's a little more brutal and violent, but still he's like so full of himself and like loves what he does. So a lot of people like him, but he's awfully dark.
Right. Anyways, Hawkgirl and Green Lantern, they go into what is essentially like a big space bar. I kind of
cantina.
Exactly.
It's a bit of Blade Runner in the cantina mix.
Pretty much.
I know the Blade Runner was a bit of an influence there. I think also the cantina. That one's a guess, though.
Well, with the cantina, it's just, you kind of get that vibe, especially with Green Lantern, where it's just like, oh, my friend doesn't like you. I don't like you either.
Well, I don't like your face.
Okay, but anyways, Hawkgirl walks up to the bar and she orders 2 drinks. Now, Blue Dragon 5, she chugs one down, does a great belch. Oh, and I also really like the line, when walking in, it's just like, Hawkgirl, she's just like very familiar with everyone, just chumming it up. And
now that's a reference to Cheers, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It's directly a reference to Cheers. Shire.
Oh God, I didn't pick up on that. Okay, so and the Green Lantern just has this great line. It's just like, you think you know somebody. That actually, like you said, that kind of plays into her storyline.
It does. It's kind of fun. They have thought this through, and it's kind of a fun thing in grand retrospect. I never really thought of it until they brought it up.
Sure, right. But anyways, Hawkgirl, she pounds down a beverage and, does a great belch.
It's really this sudsy purple beverage like crawling worms in it or something.
Now, I could be hearing this wrong, Blue Dragon 5, but I thought she said, that's some good slurm.
I don't think she says slurm. I think we're thinking of Futurama, but it sounds
Well,
similar.
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, that's instantly what came to mind was Futurama. So I was like, wait,
I don't know. I couldn't.
Futurama playing it? It's just
I couldn't quite recall. But
yeah,
if you heard,
it certainly sounded like slurm to me, but I don't know. I could very well be wrong.
But I love John's reaction to it. Just looking at that stuff like, ooh. I think he tries it. He tries it too. He spits it out like. Oh,
But and then so Hawkgirl, she kind of has this moment. She's like, "Oh, this is great, John, but you know what would make it even more special?"
She's leaning in for what looks like a kiss. Does John get ready for it? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think he is like kind of like. And then let's see what does Hawkgirl do to insinuate
what she
the
does
fight?
is there's this huge honking alien next door.
And this is kind of like the Cantina, like my friend doesn't like you either moment.
Yeah, kind of. Basically, she takes her mace and it's hilarious. She takes her mace. I think she hits the guy's hand with it, like. It's the hand with, and then she just hands it to John. Like John, I love John's reaction. John's like looking confused, like what? And then I love how he reacts to it too. He just looks at the thing in his hand, like, and he looks at this guy who's just getting pissed off. He's like, wait, what? And then the guy punches John right in the face. And he goes
Right
flying.
in the face.
Then he goes flying, and then there's a huge barroom space.
I like how there's like two people. They just see it. And they're just like. And then you just start.
I just love John's reaction. Like, what? What are we doing?
And Hawkgirl, she's kind of like, it's him.
Oh yeah.
Oh god. So yeah, it's a great little fight scene that kind of breaks out, and so then we get back to the Flash story, and he's arriving back in Central City, kind of speedy on his way to deliver the the DJ Rubber Ducky.
Yo.
to the orphans, but on his way he sees that a museum is being attacked.
An art museum's
what? Yeah.
An art museum's being attacked, and I believe critiqued also.
Indeed. By none other than the Ultra Humanite.
Yeah.
Any background you want to give for this character, Blue Dragon 5, or not much?
Sure. Very little background here. Okay. Just technically, in the comics, he was the original Superman villain. He predated Lex Luthor, in fact.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Now, in terms of his origin story, which kind of plays into this episode, so I should say it.
Mm-hmm.
The Ultra Humanite's whole shtick is that he was a scientist. He was a scientist who basically transferred his mind into that of a giant gorilla.
Oh. Wow.
I forget if it was an experiment that went wrong or not, but essentially that's his whole shtick. And he was a well-spoken man, smart guy, put his brain in a gorilla for God knows what reason. And essentially he's a really charming guy, really funny. The best episode with this guy is one of the best Batman episodes, honestly, of that Justice League season, called Injustice for All. It's the first appearance of the Joker in Justice League too.
Okay, cool.
Where essentially the Ultra Humanite strikes a deal with Luthor, and it's like a whole betrayal of villains type thing. It's an uneasy alliance. It's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, Ultra Humanite really shines in that because he's the one who basically breaks Luthor out and helps Luthor out. So he has a bond with Luthor, ironically enough, having predated him.
Okay, cool.
So that's essentially that's the Ultra Humanite shtick. That used to be a human, now he's in a giant albino gorilla's body.
Great design, awesome design. But,
really cool looking design too. He's in the red spiky get up, and he's like a refined villain too. That's what I love about him. He's kind of what if the king? It's almost like what if the Kingpin was a gorilla? Or what if Gorilla Grodd wasn't? What if Gorilla Grodd was a little more snobby?
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, like you said, he's basically destroying the museum while critiquing it at the same time, which is just a fun idea. And I must say, Blue Dragon 5, there's a couple people in Petaluma that do kind of these abstract sculptures like you see in the museum. And
do they also rampage?
Well, I'm kind of sick of seeing them because they kind of take up a lot of, around the town, you'll see him like pop up, as sort of like, oh, here's sort of an abstract structure to place downtown. Hey, and I'm just like, that kind of looks like shit. So I kind of see the Ultra Humanite's point. I mean, of course, I wouldn't go rampaging, destroying a museum of it, but I do kind of see his point about it not really being art.
So the point is, the Flash, he sees Ultra Humanite starting some trouble. He knows in his gut, well, I can't, even though I am the Flash, I got to handle this before I handle the kids.
Mm-hmm. And the second he sets down the DJ Rubber Ducky, I'm like, oh boy, that thing's gonna get broken.
Yeah, I'll admit I was worried about it too.
I mean, especially because when you think about it, it's just like he just got it so easily. You know what? He literally just gets it handed to him, so it's never that easy in a Christmas special like this.
Yeah.
So sure enough, the Flash and the Ultra Humanite get into a little bit of a brawl. The only other kind of light bit of action in this episode, aside from the opening, but even then, it's not really much. It's very much a character interaction based.
But I love I love the mundanity with the Flash, and it kind of fits with this guy.
Sure.
Basically, a Humanite's the ultimate mundane villain because he's the one who's going to talk to you all civilized. And he'll be mentioning, oh, Flash, why can't you let this one go? It's the holidays. And you're basically like Flash saying, why do you have to do this on Christmas? No one's around on Christmas, that's why. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really fun. Basically, I'm going to deal with you quickly, or I'm going to try and make this hurt less. Because he does punch him, and that's going to come into play. He punches the Ultra Humanite. Ultra Humanite is like a ray gun sort of thing.
Right.
During the struggle, I love how he just... During the struggle, Ultra Humanite, he lands on the toy, which breaks into like my heart saying, no! And then I love how Flash, he reacts kind of the same way, like he tosses the Ultra Humanite off the toy. He doesn't care about Humanite, he's cared about the toy. No, it's broken. Then he basically says, the Ultra Humanite's like, what is it? You take it from here, Dickie. What was the Ultra Humanite?
Well, Ultra Humanite's like, well, what is that thing? And he's just like, well, it's a toy for the orphans. And Ultra Humanite's like, bah, a bit of plastic, and, it's...
Wires.
He's better off without it. I prefer...
Don't you know what it's like? No, sorry, go ahead, you were saying.
Well, he's just like, I prefer the gift of literature, or something like that.
Yeah.
But then Flash, he breaks out into a heartfelt Christmas monologue.
Oh, yeah. Haven't you ever cared about something around the house, or having that special toy around the house or something?
Oh, yeah, and the quote I really like is he's like, these orphans, they're relying on goodwill, and I'm the one that gives it to them, and I like to think that when they get that goodwill, that they're going to spread it around, or something to that. I'm kind of butchering it, but, something to that extent.
Then he says, well, you might as well shoot me with that. And basically says, I don't care. And then he says, well, you might as well shoot me with that thing, because if I can't give this to them, I have failed.
Right. Very heartfelt, heartfelt.
This Flash really does care about everybody, this guy.
Sure.
And he feels bad. He's probably sure, like, okay, if you just try blasting his vibrate through the bullet or something.
Right.
Anyway.
But the Ultra Humanite, he does use the gun, but he uses it to knock the Flash out.
Yeah, he punches the Flash.
And then when the Flash wakes up, to his surprise, Ultra Humanite, he is hard at work on the toy. And
I love this moment so much. I love just how the Ultra Humanite, as the Flash wakes, like, what's happening? He says, Flash, I heard your words, and you're right. I'm calling it Christmas Truce. That's a little. I love it. It's kind of the homage to the old World War II truce.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. You were talking about that a little bit. How you think a Captain America special could be interesting based on
that. Would have been cool. But regardless, just the thing about that I love about that whole story about World War II, the Christmas Truce, is just making a truce with your enemy during the holidays. And a lot of my favorite Christmas specials do that, like Kim Possible.
Sure.
But I just love that notion of just like, let's let bygones be bygones for this one day. What do you say? Of course, it would never happen with Batman and the Joker, and actually Arkham Origins goes out of its way to prove that.
Oh, God.
But the idea that the Ultra Humanite says, Flash, I've heard your words, and you're right, so let's call a truce. Says, why'd you punch me? Well, you hit me first.
That's great.
Which is funny and logic enough. The Ultra Humanity's a smart scientist. He can rebuild these things. He makes. I think he mentioned he was going to make some improvements or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
At least he was finishing it. He was finishing the toy up or something. Basically, I've also made some improvements.
Right.
Really nice. Like, I love the Ultra Humanite. It's a shame the Ultra Humanite didn't appear more. I think this is his last appearance, to be honest with you.
Oh, that is a shame. Yeah, because
I mean,
he is a good character.
If anything else, I mean, I know it's his last speaking role. At least he might appear in the background here and there. But
to tell you the truth, I'd actually really like to see this villain play out in a live action format. Like I said, just really good design, you know.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the apes are getting popular with that Planet of the Apes movie.
Oh boy, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
What's next?
So we see Martian Manhunter. You know, he's alone in the room, and now he does this thing. Like, can you explain this power to me, Blue Dragon 5?
Oh, sure. What do you want to know?
Well, when he does he like leave his physical? Because what is the deal like when he?
Okay. Here's the Martian Man. Okay, here's how it works. Okay, so Martian Manhunter essentially originally Martian Manhunter's he has all of Superman's powers but more.
Okay.
He has like far more powers than Superman does, but essentially that's what the big selling point with this character was back in the day. Superman plus more.
Great.
So the Martian Manhunter, he's a pretty strong guy. He's a Martian, obviously, and with the Martian abilities come this. You have Martian vision, so you can see through other Martians' disguises.
Uh-huh. So
no heat vision because the Martian Manhunter's weakness is fire.
Oh, okay, interesting.
At least it's supposed to be the weakness. In the animated series, they kind of forget that. They gave him a lame weakness in the animated series.
Yeah.
Essentially, electricity usually like knocks him out or like throws him for a loop.
Huh. Okay.
The running gag is that in the first season, they did a mistake. They made Superman too weak in the first season. Then they fixed that in season 2.
That's interesting.
And the other thing, though, the thing they still didn't fix that kind of bothered me is that the Martian Manhunter has 2 giant weaknesses. Same thing as Superman. Electricity knocks him for a loop.
Right.
And 2, most importantly, the Martian Manhunter is always so susceptible to psychic attacks. Like any psychic attack, like throws him for a loop. He's much more powerful than that what gives.
Yeah, right. That's
it's like really the running gag is like always the running gag. It's like the stupid running gag. Is that someone in a Justice League always has to get knocked out or like thrown for a loop. And now it's not Superman. It's just going to be the Martian Manhunter. Like, what gives?
Oh.
Anyway, so I'm sorry. The Martian Manhunter's power set is that he can shapeshift, obviously.
Right.
Shapeshift, Martian vision. Technically, he has super breath, but he never uses it on the show. The main one you're talking about, he can go intangible, like Danny Phantom. Well, I know you don't know Danny Phantom. He can go intangible.
Mm-hmm.
So he can phase through things. So it's not an astral projection like you think. He can phase through.
Okay, interesting.
He can phase through things. He can read people's minds. That's important. He can read people's minds. He can phase through things, and like I guess he can also kind of go inside people's minds too, technically.
Right. Okay. So he's kind of doing that, and he's wandering around the Kent house.
Yeah.
Of course, we get that great payoff with Clark. He's at the tree and he's trying to see through the present.
Lead.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Good old.
Oh my god.
Yeah. John's looking for essentially he's kind of pulling a Charlie Brown here. He's looking for the true meaning of Christmas.
Right.
Without,
so
technically, Linus. Essentially, he gets the same message from Linus, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. So he's going around town. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's going around town. He shapeshifts into a human. A couple pass him. They're like, "Merry Christmas," And so that kind of just gives him the sense of isolation. He's just like, "Man, I need to get in on this Christmas thing." So, anyways, he ends up.
I don't get
it. He ends up walking by the window of a young girl who's, she's kind of. Is she having trouble believing in Santa? She's kind of like just. Oh, I just know Santa's gonna come, like he does every year, and I just gotta believe. So
I know he's gonna eat the cookies.
Right. So Martian Manhunter sees this, and he's touched by it. So he goes down, and you see him take a single cookie.
But before he makes the reindeer sounds on the roof.
Right. That's a really good.
But
that moment really got me, because that totally reminded me of just Christmas in general, you know, when you're really young and the whole illusion of Santa Claus hasn't been broken yet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just such an adrenaline rush waiting for him, you know. It's like you wish you could just go back to that naivety you had.
Yeah. Well, before you find out that he's Jack Skellington.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh,
But yeah. Also, I wanted to mention something. At first, I thought I was going to shapeshift into Santa Claus. Again, I was thinking that I was impressed that they didn't have the whole Santa Claus in the DC universe. So they're still there. I was impressed that they didn't do that. I was the cliche. I was expecting. Oh, he's going to shapeshift into Santa Claus.
Oh, God.
They played it smart. Like it's the illusion that you got.
Right.
And yeah, he's making the noise and he's eating the cookie. By the way, the cookie is a reference to the Martian Manhunter because Martian Manhunter in the comics, being a Martian, he regardless of the fact that he's a Martian, he loves Oreos.
Oh my God, that's great.
Seriously, that's a character trait. He loves Oreos, or I think technically in DC it's the cheapo Oreos, like the ones that aren't technically Oreos legally.
Right.
They're the Choco things.
Yeah, right.
So like in the comics they're Choco, but let's face it, folks, it's Oreos. Martian Manhunter loves Oreos. Also cookies, like in Brave and the Bold, it's just any cookie, but here it's particularly Oreos.
I actually kind of hate Oreos, to tell you the truth.
You know, I like Oreos, but I gotta be in the mood for Oreos. Like I kind of like the
right. Actually,
the cream with the cookie.
Sure. Like, I actually like Oreo-related things that aren't Oreos themselves. Like, Oreo milkshakes are good. Oreo ice cream is good.
I can never get into that.
Really?
I mean, Oreo ice cream cake, yes. That, yes. But I cannot do the McFlurry. Oreo McFlurry just looks like a mess to me.
Well, I just don't like McFlurries in general, but
Just saying, it's blended Oreo and ice cream. Point is, we're getting off topic here.
Well, really quick, I just love I love Oreo O's, the cereal, and I wish they'd bring it back. But yeah, you're right.
Wait, hold it. There was an Oreo cereal?
Yes, it was freaking amazing.
Oh, man, that sounds kind of cool. Anyway,
yes, I believe they still make it in Japan.
I love the cookie and cream candy bars, but that's somewhat the same premise of an Oreo.
Okay, now we could just do a whole podcast.
Right. Point is, Martian Manhunter loves Oreos, and it's a fun little nod. Again, a la Dwayne McDuffie. I'm like 95% sure that's a la Dwayne McDuffie.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he loved the Martian Manhunter, and he actually had plans to do a Martian Manhunter series before his passing. So.
Yeah, no, the Martian Man, he really is a good character. I hope eventually they integrate him into the cinematic universe.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. There's some issues going on with that right now because
really?
David S. Goyer made some stupid comments about him.
Oh no! Oh, frickin' Goyer! Oh, what does David S. Goyer say that isn't stupid?
Well, unfortunately, I used to think so highly of the guy, but I don't know. He said really stupid stuff about the Hulk, so I can't really defend him right now.
Yeah.
Basically, what he communicated with that is that he knows absolutely nothing about the Incredible Hulk.
Anyway, he knew absolutely nothing about Pa Kent, too.
Well, wait, did he? Yeah, he did write that. You're right.
Yeah, he did.
I was making sure because I wrote a draft. I didn't know if he.
No, that's actually where I started my hate of David Goyer was with Man of Steel. But okay.
Anyway, so yeah, back to Martian Manhunter. His next stop is kind of our Linus, kind of telling Charbran what the meaning is, what really doesn't help him at all, but helps the Martian Manhunter out. He happens by a church and he hears singing, which inspires him.
Oh yeah.
So he hears a
really kind of quiet moment.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I like how the Martian Manhunter doesn't read in the religious implication. He just hears nice music around holidays.
Sure, yeah, for sure.
I like that. He doesn't get what Christmas is, but he's enjoying the things about it. So the things such as the idea of a Santa Claus, the holiday spirit, like people saying hello to you, and then this, just people singing.
Right.
And with the Kents, he just says, being around your loved ones. So those are all the things he kind of gets to Christmas about. He's longing for his family, and by that proxy, he's kind of honoring his family with the Christmas song later on.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
so after that we cut quickly back to Hawkgirl and Green Lantern. They're in the middle of the brawl. Just kind of another little action beat. Not much to it, but Green Lantern is like, "This is insane." Hawkgirl's like, "I know, isn't it great?" There's a very menacing rhino-looking guy in this scene.
No, that's the guy who they started the fight with.
Oh, okay, right on.
It's like one eye and a rhino horn, if I'm right. or
Oh,
something.
yeah. All right, and yeah, so it's basically just kind of a quick little cutaway to see, the show, the fight's still in progress, and then we get back to Flash, and this is just adorable.
Well, the thing I will tell you, as great as this scene is, the next one with the Flash is the one that breaks my heart.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree. But
Okay, anyway, so what happens?
well, first of all, we see, or I think we just hear the Flash and the Ultra Humanite outside of the Ultra Humanite's like, "You really expect me to wear this thing?" And the Flash is like, "Come on, man, I'm wearing the beard. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need to scare the kids."
Well, basically your big exposed brain.
Right. So, the Flash comes back and
What's the Humanite complaining about? He's just wearing a top hat.
nah, I don't know. Yeah,
Essentially, he's basically a Frosty the Snowman type thing.
Which makes sense given the albino fur and everything. But, so Flash comes back in, and he gives the presents to the kids, and, they're all happy, but then there's a twist. There's a twist. You want to explain the twist, Blue Dragon?
Yeah, well, apparently, since the Ultra Humanites are rebuilding and improving upon DJ Rubber Ducky, respectfully, well, DJ Rubber Ducky now has more class to him. And remind me if it was, is he reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" or is he just saying?
No, it's not "'Twas the Night Before." I think I don't know exactly what it is.
Well, the song.
It's just
the point is, DJ Rubber Ducky, it's really neat. I love the improvement, to be honest. It's much better than the farting duck, in my opinion.
Oh, God, yes.
Essentially, DJ Rubber Ducky, he walks over, and I guess he could do that before. He walks over, and he sits down with the kids, and it works kind of like a Teddy Ruxpin, pretty much.
Right.
It plays. I love how it plays the Nutcracker sweet music.
Oh.
Like the dun, 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 dun. It's really nice and lovingly, though. Dun, 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 dun. It's all mysterious and wondery for Christmas. That's a perfect thing to give the kids, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And then basically it sounds like he's saying, the Ultra Humanite pre-recorded a story on there, basically saying, "Come close, children, and I'll tell you a story."
Right.
I forget what story he tells. I thought it was, if it's not "'Twas the Night," I guess it just says, "I have a story to tell you."
I don't think it's "Night Before Christmas." It sounds like kind of like Dickens-esque.
I don't know. I could have
sworn
it
might be
was
a Christmas Carol.
I don't know. I could have sworn it was. I could be wrong. I could have sworn.
I
it
know
was
for a
that.
fact it's not "Night Before Christmas."
Because it sounded like he said someone rose for their cap or something.
I could be wrong. Well, it's not important.
Point is, it's a Christmas story. It's really like the Flash. I don't know. I kind of liked him better when he thought he was funnier when he was farting, but this is good. This is
making
nice.
poopy noises.
This is nice too. I like that. It's all like a duck would be glowing like he has like a light in there with the Christmas music playing. It's a sweet thing. I'd like to have that duck, the refined version of that duck in mind.
Oh, I'd love to have a freaking storytelling duck. Are you kidding me? That'd be awesome.
Like a holiday-themed Teddy Ruxpin.
Come out with just like different ducks, like a Dickens duck, just different authors get different ducks.
Okay.
Okay, but so that's a really nice moment, and then so then this is the moment that really gets to you.
Well, wait, no. Did we directly go to here, or did we go to Shire next? So is it directly?
No, I think it's just directly to the jail.
Okay, so directly, if I may.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, go for it.
Oh, so I love this scene. So now that the Ultra Humanite has done his good deed for the holiday, Flash is I think actually Flash is just waiting in the cell, if I'm right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Flash is waiting in the cell. Ultra Humanite's being taken to prison now. Again, he went of his own accord, which I thought was a nice touch for the holidays. Again, it's a truce.
Right.
He goes back to his little prison cell, and it's a nice little bit. Flash has a little gift there waiting for him there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Humanite walks in there and says, "Oh, you're here to gloat?" He says, "No, I'm going to give you a gift." Or something. I forget what he said getting in there. He says, "I have a gift for you."
Yeah.
And he turns around. I know it's not much, but it's nice. It's holiday related. And essentially it's this little aluminum Christmas tree with like a little light foot pedal thing or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you hit the light, then it reflects off the aluminum tree. It looks really nice. And I believe it was Bruce Timm's idea to put this thing there. I could be wrong. But the point is, the I love the Humanite's reaction here. This really touches the Ultra Humanite because he's about to say, so, I remember this tree from when I was a. Then he notices flashes. There's it's a little bauble.
Nice.
It kind of writes it off like it's a little shabby bottle, but thank you. Then the flash leaves, and I love the little quiet moment. I forget if he turns off the light or not, but he taps the little foot pedal that activates the lights, and he's basking in the glow of it. I assume thinking back to his childhood.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really nice moment, the Ultra Human. I forget if you see Flash walking away from the cell, smiling and seeing the lights.
No, what
in the
happens
background.
is the Flash kind of he pokes his head in after he leaves, and he's just smiling.
That's nice. Yeah, so that's a really happy ending for that story.
Right. All right. So after that, we get a quick little montage, kind of wrapping everything up. We see Hawkgirl and Green Lantern on the planet. This is a really nice moment. It's just like after all the destruction and the fury of the fighting and everything. Hawkgirl and Green Lantern, they're just kind of they're just asleep in each other's arms. And I really like that portrait. I really like the idea that Green Lantern, he goes out of his way to make Hawkgirl happy, even if it's just completely to his own physical detriment.
So basically, it's so funny. Just the visual.
Right. So I thought that was a great way to wrap up their little storyline.
Just seeing Giant Rhino guy. Well, now they're both buddies now. Giant Rhino guy holding Shire and Green Lantern like in a big old bear hug. Oh, God. It's a sweet little relationship moment. Again, she just kind of she kisses him on the cheek, saying "Merry Christmas." It's a sweet little moment. And then how do you bring it home? How do you top a subtle little Merry Christmas, and how do you top just the ultimate Ultra Humanite moment? Not Ultra. How do you top that? I mean, how do you top it with another emotional capper? I mean, how do you beat that? Tiki, tell us.
You cut back to the Kent house, and we've got Martian Manhunter, who's, like I said, he's essentially been our emotional center the whole time. He's a classic, oh no, we need to. He's not the Scrooge, really. He's not, because he doesn't have a bad attitude about anything. In fact, he's overly humble about stuff.
If we are to incorporate the Scrooge formula, I assume that
Ultra Humanite.
Yeah, Ultra Humanite's like a mini Scrooge. For a moment, he's Scrooge-ish. Then Flash turns. It's a turn on a dime moment, though.
Pretty much.
It's still the Scrooge evolution. But it's like a turn on a dime moment, though.
Oh God! Every Christmas special needs a Scrooge.
Yeah.
All right, but anyways, you want to walk us through what Martian Manhunter does at the very end?
Okay, sure. Yeah. So we're at the Kent house, and it looks like it's Christmas morn. After John's come back after his night of longing and looking for what the true meaning of Christmas is, a la Charlie Brown. And the sun has risen, the Kents are awakened by a noise. But it's not a bad noise. It's a nice noise. Me, personally, my taste, that's not as pretty as it seems, but as it sounds, but that's just my opinion, but it's okay. Point is, they hear a lovely sound.
That counts. It's a thought that counts.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm being harsh on it because that's just not my taste of music, I guess.
Right, I hear you.
But the point is, so you hear, I'm going to buy into it, though, so you hear this nice, lovely sound here. You're hearing the sound. You're not quite sure what it is, and the Kents hear it, and they see it's coming from Kara's room, which John's in. John's in, and you hear like a Martian Christmas carol. Essentially, he's singing a song from his native Martian tongue that is, I assume, Christmas related, as we all assume is holiday related. And he's singing, and then now the cat's butted up to him. It's all curled up in his arms, and he's in his true Martian form.
Okay, I didn't notice the cat. Nice.
Yeah, the cat's curled up in his arms now. The cat's butted with him, and he's in his true Martian form, so that's what he really looks like, Tiki. With the extended head and so forth.
Okay,
and just singing a song, and I assume kind of reflecting on the things he discovered, buying the holidays, being around people who love honoring those loved ones, just kind of singing a song honoring his old race of people, and it's kind of, I guess, the family he lost, and just kind of saying, this is what Christmas is about. It's just about kind of taking in the happiness for a day.
Sure.
And he's singing, and then Superman brings it home with this great line. The Kents are they're smiling oh man, this sounds really nice. And then Clark says, with wonderful fashion, he says, and he said he didn't bring a gift.
Yeah, nice way to cap it all together. Really nice. All right, and that was Justice League: Comfort and Joy, the Christmas special. All right, so nice little one, really good. Like I said, probably my favorite of the three DC ones. I really like how many storylines there are and how well each one of them wraps up. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it all kind of ties together. Just really sharp writing all around.
I like the deleted scene of Batman on Wonder Woman under the mistletoe, but I'm lying. That did not happen.
Well, again, I want to see Batman partnered up with all the DC women. That's just amazing.
And all the women that he's been with, too.
Oh, God. Oh, God, that would be kind of awkward.
Well, no, basically, he's the one who breaks it off with all of them, and they still want him. That's the thing, they still want him.
Oh, okay, I see.
They're pretty much all of Batman's breakups, they've all been very, very mutual. Usually he just can't be with him, or it's like more of always a mutual breakup.
Sure.
I mean, the closest thing to a bitter one would be kind of Lois Lane. Kind of. I mean, even there's, I don't know. The point is, I'm kidding, but yeah. Overall, this is a great special. I would have loved to see a little bit of Batman in here, a little bit of Batman Wonder Woman having a holiday experience, in my opinion. But yeah, you can only have so much. And again, there is that alternate version in the comic that I can always look to for enjoyment.
Sure.
But I do like what we have here. I kind of wish it was long. I wish it was an hour long so we get a little more story action. But yeah,
obviously, if it was an hour long, you could fit in stuff like Batman and Wonder Woman. So
yes,
there's that.
But you know what? I think it's kind of good the way we have it because you don't get overcrowded with the story. You have just enough time. These stories are well seated together. They all got the emotional climax towards the end. I think my favorite one, as much as I love, I love the Martian Manhunter, his whole arc, just the idea of this guy who's also alone like Superman kind of finds solace in the Kents and he learns what Christmas is about. It's a good story. Mm-hmm. But when I really rewatch this, I always find that even though I got a good relationship dynamic between Green Lantern and Shire, I always just fall in love with that Flash story.
I really do too, for sure. It was easily the highlight for me.
Yeah, just that Flash, and more so just the ending, just the Ultra-Humanite, mundanity and the humor with the Ultra-Humanite, and just, it's a humble, simple Christmas story of, when you really boil it down, it's, you set a goal for yourself during the holidays, and this is, again, fitting into the formula of Christmas specials.
Oh, yes.
You have a goal set for how you want the holiday to go. Yet, something gets in the way or something kind of stops you from getting there, but you kind of improvise or something, you kind of go from your gut of what you're going to do here. Or something surprises you about the holiday, like the Ultra-Humanite helping him out and improving the gift. You didn't see that coming, and it just kind of ended up in being a better holiday than you intended, or a really nice holiday.
Right. All right,
and faiths get rewarded, Christmas joy all around. Even the bad guy gets to experience some Christmas joy, and the hero helped make that happen. It's a nice message. And, even the bad guys can have a nice Christmas.
Sure. All right, so that about wraps it up for our Justice League Comfort and Joy discussion. Next time on Christmas in July, I'm going to be flying solo tomorrow, and Blue Dragon 5 will be back on Sunday to join us, but for tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the very first Christmas special in a show that I'm sure probably has like a metric ton of Christmas specials at this point in their long-running history, but the very first Christmas special by The Simpsons entitled Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. And this is actually interesting because it's the pilot episode of The Simpsons, actually, so kind of a lot of history to go into with that one. Kind of the origin story of Santa's Little Helper. So a lot of good stuff there. A lot of good stuff. Bart Simpson has a really good monologue. Just a lot of good stuff to get into. Can't wait to do it. So, all right. In the meantime, folks, like every Christmas in July, these Christmas specials, they all have a formula to them. We try and break down who's the Scrooge. As we saw. I think the big formula of this is like, as Blue Dragon 5 said. You think you're going to get something for Christmas, and it turns out to be something different, but it's all the better. So there's a lot of cliches in Christmas specials. There's a lot of stuff that we can point to that they do over and over again, which is kind of the fun of looking at a lot of these in a row. But in essence, Blue Dragon 5, I feel like there's a scientific formula that we need to crack with these Christmas specials.
And how are we going to do that, Tiki?
We're going to do that by putting the mistletoe under the microscope. Next time and every night here on Christmas in July.
Yeah, la 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 la.
All right, see you guys later.
Maria.